Hi, my name is Matthew Bennett. Today I'm going to show you a DIY project I created. The project is a homemade mattebox or grip box which can be used with an adjustable EVF for a cine-style DSLR rig. Here's the mattebox slash grip box. It's not really a proper mattebox because you can't drop in filters and there's no flags on it right now, but generally it functions as a shade for the lens and the solid base to build an EVF shoulder rig around. There are rubber shoes at the front of it so you can face it straight down and build the rig that way. There are supports for 15mm rods built in on the top and bottom. There are also clamps on the sides and a rubber grip on the far right hand side. I'll add a Zacuto adjustable riser plate. I also have a Manfrotto accessory plate screwed into the Zacuto plate facing sideways. Now this plate allows me to release the camera sideways from the finished rig at any time during a shoot to change lenses, battery, go off and do some stills, whatever I need just the camera for. And I make sure the follow focus is working correctly and move on. Next, I'll use some Zacuto clamps to create a bridge between the top and bottom rods. Since this grip box is made only from wood, it's not incredibly stiff and I'll need the extra support. Now comes the EVF. Now this one is made from the ICANN 2.5-inch field monitor and a Hoodman LCD loop. Now what I did was I built a cardboard box around the hood loop so that it shoes perfectly onto the ICANN LCD. The EVF sits on a tiny adjustable ball head, which in turn is screwed into a small Zacuto clamp. I have a short Zacuto rod and Zacuto handle, which I'll insert on the side. I can mount the EVF on the top of that rod. Once again, the EVF is sitting on a ball head, so it can be adjusted to any angle, risen up, down, sideways, wherever you need it to be. I'll add another rod and hand grip to the other side. Next up is powering the EVF and cabling it to the camera. For power, I have a Panasonic battery, which gives me about 6 hours of life on the EVF before it needs a recharge. Next up, I'll cable the power to the EVF and then connect the EVF to the camera via an RCA cable. Now, there are many surfaces I've built onto the grip box and EVF that are faced with hook Velcro, so I can use a strip of loop Velcro to stick down the errant links of power and AV cable. Now I'm cabled and ready to shoot. Now the last thing I need is a shoulder pad. I made a shoulder pad out of foam, fabric, and foam core board. I'll screw that onto the Zacuto riser plate with a 1/4-inch machine bolt. And now I'm ready to shoot EVF style. I want the rig to be short but also balanced. Depending on the weight and the position of the lens and the camera, I can clamp on a bit of counterweight to the back of the bottom rods. Here I'm using 2.5 pounds or 1.1 kilograms. Here you can see that the operator's eye is locked into the EVF and the rig is balanced enough that he can take his hands off. Unfortunately, you need to reach back a bit on the 7D to press the record button or set f-stops on the fly, etc., but that isn't that much of a problem. Now, I've really attempted to keep the rig as short and stubby as possible, which is my own personal preference. So there it is, 3 DIY items I built to make the EVF DSLR cine-style rig that I've always wanted. It's not perfect, but I like using it for many situations. Hopefully, upon seeing this, folks out there can improve upon this design if they're looking to build their own EVF rig. I'm Matthew Bennett, thank you.